This evening we focus on what can certainly be called a pattern, one playing out in parts of India, a pattern of growing intolerance, bigotry towards minorities, especially religious minorities, especially Muslims. This video is 100% worthy of your time and needs as much attention as possible. So do watch it till the end, like it if you find value, and share it with your friends and family. And don't forget to subscribe to us on YouTube and follow us on Instagram. Let's start with Karnataka, which has seen an entire gamut of incidents that are no longer random, spontaneous, or stand alone. It started as a debate over whether Muslim girls should have the right to wear a hijab in classrooms. It has snowballed into something far more insidious since then. There have been calls for a ban on halal meat, loudspeakers at mosques, auto drivers and mango traders who are Muslims, and sculptors who make idols of Hindu gods while following Islam. The Karnataka government has refused to conduct re-examinations for students who didn't attend because they were protesting the hijab ban or waiting for the High Court verdict. There is also talk of introducing the Bhagavad Gita in the school syllabus, just like in Gujarat. In Karnataka, on the eve of Ram Navami on April 10th, fruit carts of Muslim vendors were vandalized. 4 of 8 have been arrested. There were similar reports of communal unrest and violence that came from Madhya Pradesh, Gujarat, Jharkhand, Goa, Telangana, Maharashtra, and Delhi on Ram Navami. 2 persons died. Several were injured, including police personnel. And it's important to outline them as communal or religious because in most places a similar sequence of events happened. Let's take you through what happened in some states. A Ram Navami procession would cross a Muslim neighborhood. Stone pelting would begin with both groups pointing the finger at the other. Violence, arson would follow. The police would step in with tear gas or lathis only towards the end. In many cases, locals said that there were hateful songs played on the loudspeakers, provocative slogans, and swords and sticks were used as well. This is almost the sequence of events in MP's Khargone. Both groups alleged that the other threw the first stone, a temple was vandalized, and a mosque was burnt, which says enough about this no-win situation. The next day, April 11, district administration officials razed down houses and shops of Muslims who allegedly threw stones. 26 FIRs, including one by Muslims, have been registered. 104 people have been rounded up, 70 sent to jail. Not one of them was from the procession. How is this a rule of law is the matter for another debate. In Delhi, the national capital, things are no better. South Delhi Municipal Corporation, or the SDMC, issued an official order shutting down all meat shops starting April 2nd for 9 days of Navratri. The language of the order leaves no room for doubt. It talks about the foul smell of meat affecting Hindus' religious beliefs. Several sweeping generalizations were used to prop up this decision, including a statistic that 99% of houses in Delhi don't touch even onion and garlic during Navratri, let alone meat. Which is not true, and neither that all Hindus observe Navratri.
So while data is important, it is not enough to counter what are now systematic incidents of provocation of majoritarianism. For instance, meat, that is a staple part of the diet of Muslims, was made difficult to access for the first 9 days of Ramzan. Or that the most affected by this SDMC ban were small meat vendors and wholesalers, not really delivery services or restaurants, etc. At the same time, the Delhi Jal Board withdrew its own order which granted a 2-hour break every day to all Muslim employees during the month of Ramzan. More recently, you would have heard of ABVP students been accused of attacking other students at the Jawaharlal Nehru University over non-vegetarian food. Several students were injured. In neighbouring Haryana, all of December 2021 saw protests against Muslims offering namaz at public places, with the Chief Minister endorsing it. Rajasthan's Karoli saw its worst instance of communal violence in a really long time on the 2nd of April. Violence broke out when a bike rally to mark the Hindu New Year allegedly came under stone pelting when it was passing through a Muslim neighborhood. So as matters escalated, homes, shops, vehicles belonging to both communities were set on fire. At least 35 people were injured in the violence. We are hoping, as we are listing all of these out, that you can see a pattern here, as also a pattern of hate speech becoming an everyday event. Let me list out just a few. Yati Narsinghanand, the head priest of the Dasna Devi temple, was recently booked for hate speech during a Hindu Mahapanchayat while on bail in another case of hate speech. Social media is filled with videos from screenings of Vivek Agnihotri's movie The Kashmir Files, and moviegoers really across the country are raising intimidatory slogans and communal slurs. On the 2nd of April this very year, Mahant Bajrang Mani Udasin, who's the priest of the Badi Sangat Ashram in Uttar Pradesh's Sitapur district, threatened mass sexual violence against Muslim women in the presence of the police. He was arrested after 11 days. In fact, such calls are common. Calls for sexual violence against women and children and communal slurs have become so very common. The response has been threefold. Number one, of stony silence from anyone who matters. Number two, all the wrong things from those who want to further polarize and make things worse. Let me give you an example from a BJP MLA in Tripura who wanted government-supported madrasas to be shut down because, quote-unquote, they produce terrorists. Or the vice president of a Karnataka pre-university college development committee terming the students protesting the hijab ban as, quote-unquote, members of a terrorist organization. A BJP MLA blamed Muslim vendors' clothes and looks for hurting the sentiments of Hindu devotees after the 9th April violence that took place in Karnataka. And after the clashes that took place on the day of Ram Navami in Madhya Pradesh, the state's Home Minister Narottam Mishra explicitly blamed Muslims for all of it. The third kind is just 2 days ago, on the 12th of April, Karnataka Chief Minister Basavaraj Bommai and his predecessor B.S. Yediyurappa warned groups taking the law into their own hands with dire consequences. This is the third kind of response that I was talking about from leaders, the kind that perhaps is too little, too late, and most needed. Before we end this video, just why has it been important that we piece all of these incidents together and see them for what they are? Every other day, you are encountering these words in your everyday life. Hijab, hijab ban, halal controversy, Navratri, biryani, Urdu, Haldiram, Arabic, love jihad, namaz, azan, etc. You possibly see them, you read about them, you comment, or they're amplified and commented on social media, but you think of all of them really as isolated incidents, really about a group of folks who don't represent you. Even whom the violence is perpetrated on maybe bears no resemblance to the people you know. It seems every day there is a controversy that these are the most important things confronting us as a country. So some religious iconography or food item is hurting the religious sentiments of the other community. The violence is such that it's always on a simmer, it's on a low burn, it reaches boiling point, it is contained, and then it is kept simmering. There are some arrests that take place, some oddball statements that are made, and soon we move to the next one, the next controversy. We keep going round and round in circles. Just think about it as to what your news headlines have contained over the last many months. We give fresh injuries and we open past wounds. Think about it. Are Halal, Navratri, Hijab the issues most confronting us or most confronting your life at this point in time? It would seem so. I have to say that there are much other deeper aspects to explore as to why this is happening and what it signifies. We'll leave that for comments, for conversations, but just a reminder that do consider contributing to Newsworthy to help us do this work, help us give you the context, do deeper videos, join the dots, and tell you stories that matter. This is hard work, it's painstaking work, it's also brave work, it needs your support. The link to contribute is in the bio on Instagram and in our description on YouTube. I am urging you to make a contribution right this very moment. Don't leave it for another day. Pallavi and self will see you again very soon.